What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and I hope you are having a great day. And if you're not, just remember it's the thoughts in your head. Thoughts, emotions, the actions and decisions we make over a long period of time equals your outcome in every situation. So if you're not happy right now, let's figure out why, and then let's go backwards and figure out what was the decision that you made. You know, what was the thought or the emotion? What was the emotion? What was the thought? And then what was the influence that drove these decisions or actions? But again, remember, you can always prompt your brain to either shut them off if you can go out and meditate and put on some music, or even listen to the podcast. You can change what you're thinking in your head at the moment. I'm not saying that there aren't millions of other thoughts, subconsciously in the back of your head saying like, the laundry will get done. The laundry will get done. But what I am saying, I would say, and what I am saying is that you can prompt yourself to start feeling better pretty instant. You just have to, you're just going to have to want to. And then because when you're not in like a happy state and you're just like, fucking this, I'm just not having a good day today. Fuck. When you're in that state, again, the example was just doing breath work. It's like, for me, if I know I do breath work, I'll feel better, or go work out and feel better. You just have to want to feel better enough to go do something that changes or prompts, those thoughts and that feeling or that situation. So you can do that. Today, I want to talk about, or I want to share a perspective, point of perspective, if you will, about small incremental changes, right? So I think big changes happen, and I think there's opportunities for that, and some people are blessed, some people are, whether it's lucky, I can't explain that in terms of if you think about somebody that wins the lottery and stuff like that, excuse me. I would say, yes, there's opportunities and there's potential for people for us to experience that, right? To experience these incremental changes over a short period of time. Now, I would say for most people, or the chances of that are there, they're just not as frequent or as high as I would say small incremental changes towards a similar goal. And so this is just something that I think if any of you are out there looking to, achieve something, or get to that reality of a goal, or get to that reality of, whether it's weight loss, happiness, a good relationship, a good job that you enjoy and love, going on your own, whatever these other things are, whatever those achievement futures for you are, or outcomes, right? Situations. I would say that it's the small incremental changes over the longer period of time that are going to get you there rather quickly, if that makes sense, if you continue to be somewhat or very or most consistent. But as long as you continue it over not continuing it, you'll ultimately get there, or you'll ultimately become better, or you'll ultimately lose the weight, or you'll ultimately get to the job that you like, or you'll ultimately find the relationship, that you want. And again, relationships I want to talk about at a later episode, but it's not just about finding a relationship. It's more about I think having a good relationship with yourself initially, understanding what you want, who you want, in terms of what you want out of a relationship, if it's a loving relationship between, you yourself, someone else, or, couples, or, more than two people. There's tons of stuff out there, but I think equally there's a good understanding of who I am as a person, what I need, what do I want to be in, and then honest communication between, the people in the relationship. And that goes for anything, whether it's loving, business, friendship, on soccer pitch, your community, I don't know, bingo club, whatever, fill in the blank. So I would say that, and I would have, I want to shout out obviously to Patty, my other half, because I can't wait to have her on here too, because she'll give a different, not a different perspective, but I think lots of people also appreciate her perspective in the way she is. She's like a punk rock, like she'll tell you the way it is. She likes to hole punch. I call her hole punch Patty as well, because she fucking likes to punch holes in some of the ideas and things that I come up with. So, but I love her for sure. So, in regards to what I've been seeing, including myself, like I've seen in myself where I'm making these small incremental changes. I'm just saying, like with Patty, I've seen it, and it makes me happy that, because like it's a little different with Patty, because she lives with me, right? Like you guys don't live with me, right? Like you hear me for 15 minutes maybe, or listen to the perspective for 15 minutes. And then like you go back home to you and you're like, oh man, for the most part, I just know Wilson as, the guy on the podcast, a friendly guy, cool guy, spiritual hype man, fits him perfectly. You know what I mean? But again, Patty lives with me, and there's certain parts obviously throughout the storyline that if you've seen or heard some of the other episodes, we talk about, right? But either way, it's kind of like growing up and your parents are telling you to do something in a certain way, or think about this because this, this is life. Listen to my experiences, which is really kind of what this is as well. That you don't listen to your parents. You're just like, I don't want to fucking listen to my parents. But if your neighbor tells you or your friend tells you or something like that, then you're like, all right, I guess I'll listen to them, even though my parents think that same way, or whatever it is, fill in the blank in terms of your situation. So that's kind of what it was. And it's similar sometimes to what it still is with Patty and I. However, like I've not only firsthand witnessed with myself, but it makes me actually really proud, like firsthand witnessing with Patty, right? There's been certain things that she's changed in the last like couple of even months, that she's just done great. Like she quit drinking, right? That was one. A huge thing, like huge, like a big deal, right? And it's, well, that was definitely due to medical, like the liver was like saying, hey, stop fucking drinking, because like I'm working overtime here. And a lot of that came from some emotional shit that she's been working through. She's done almost a year of meditation in the morning and breath work. She'll do, so it's like these things that I've talked about that I've also used. It makes me very proud of seeing it firsthand in Patty and saying that, like, I'm telling you guys, like, you can change whatever you want. You can change whatever you want. Like, out of your, like, you have the ability to do and change and decide that you're going to do something else or be a certain way or feel happier or whatever. You have the power to do that. Like, you yourself control that. And so seeing Patty throughout these different changes, even like the relationship with the boys, going out, doing things, like it's been very, very good to see that from her, wanting to get back into dancing. Like, so it's, again, but it didn't happen overnight, right? Because if we've been together for almost 8 years, and it's like the first couple of years we were just like not very conscious and not very aware, and we were just like, we're adults here in this world, like, what the fuck? Yeah, let's just go get a beer. You know what I mean? Like, let's just go get some Huracans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, I guess I wouldn't trade it, right? Because it was great times that we spent. There's great experiences there. But there were definitely things that were influencing that situation, like that weren't helpful for us, to move forward, not only in the relationship aspect, but like as a family and as individuals within a unit, So, yeah, I just have to say I'm very proud of her. So the example is Patty, and the thought is that you can also do that, right? Like if it's weight, or if it's health, or if it's, again, the relationship, or if it's just internal relationships with yourself, and, you want to be nicer to yourself, you can do that. There's different ways that you can start applying some of these thoughts and these perspectives to actually outweighing, right? Like thinking about the value of, if I did this, my health is going to get better. Logically, right? Like if I stop eating shitty or fast food or, like crap before I go to bed, like at some point if I stop doing that, my body's going to thank me and I'm going to just be better or healthier, right? I'm going to have less cholesterol. I'm going to have less stress. I'm going to have less, whatever the fuck. Fill in the blank in terms of what's happening with you. I would say it's small incremental steps, right? So if you've drank soda for the last, 30 years of your life, because obviously when you became a kid and your initial influence was Domino's Pizza on Fridays and Coca-Colas and 2-liter bottles of Coke, and all of a sudden that you love that shit, and then you're doing it anytime you had fucking school gives you Domino's and soda, like, you know what I mean? Like, you've been doing it for 30 years. You're just in this fucking matrix of feeding you garbage, and, we've decided to stick with it. Of course it's going to be tough to cut it off right off the bat, right? It's like your body's going to crave it. There's something, like beer. Here, I'll give you this example. I enjoyed beer, right? I've enjoyed it very much, very much. And like sometimes still I get like, I was outside doing man shit, thanks to Dr. Lisa. And again, if you didn't watch the Take My Blood episode or listen to it, that's what I'm referring to. But I was doing outside shit, man shit. I come back inside and it's fucking hot. And I'm like, you know what I'd like right now? A nice cold beer. But again, I'm like allergic to wheat, so I know if I drink a beer, my nose is going to be stuffy. It's going to be even more nasally than this. And so instead of drinking a beer or having a beer, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go get a sparkling water, And I know it sounds like, oh, what a bitch. But like, honestly, I'm like, I'd rather drink the sparkling water. I get the same sensation. It's like I crack it open. It's a can. I'm like, that felt really good. It felt almost like a beer. And then not have the effect of what beer does to me, and like my schnozzing, and like not be able to like breathe and have to like go get fucking tape. You guys have seen that before as well. So it's just these little things, but it's taken me a little bit of time for me personally to not get one. Like even when we go out to eat, I'm like, man, I'd love a fucking beer right now at dinner, but I guess I'll just stick with my water and lemon. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's small. And there's times that I went back and forth, and I've said this before, it's like double Dutch, like you change, all of a sudden you revert back, and then you change and you revert back, and you change it. And then like at some point, one of them is going to win, and you're either going to revert back if you keep doing that continuously, or you're going to just change, and that's going to be different. Like that change is going to be part of you moving forward because you've made more of that change. It's just reinforcing behavior. Duh. So, again, this one is just a reminder that whatever you're doing, and everybody's different too. Here's the other thing. I don't want to come out here either and say like, hey, you got to write in your journal. You got to meditate. You got to, I feel like there's a level of that, like at a macro sense that everyone needs, whether it's journaling, whether it's meditation, whether it's talking to somebody, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend, whether it's listening to a podcast, whatever it is, there's a certain level of, yes, I feel like there is something that you should do. And that's to keep reflecting and keep asking yourself and keep an open mind in terms of perspective of like, what is it that I want? Like, what is it that I want to feel? And what is it? How do I see myself in terms of my life playing out? And so again, there's that level of that, but there's no one way to get there, right? There's no like everyone who journals makes change faster than anyone who doesn't. Like, I don't know if that's out there, or I don't know if that's really like a test that anyone, would really care to fucking run. But I would say everyone's a little bit different, and I think that's another good place to start. So if you're going to make these incremental changes, maybe a good place to start too is like, what are the things that I need to do before that can help me reiterate the change or the decision, right? So like, what are the influences that I need to change? What are my thoughts? What's the emotion that I need to change? How do I balance that out? Like, really for me now, it's just been, hey, is this better for me or not? Like, and we can keep it that simple. Like, is this better for me or not? And I think that's a good way of just thinking about it. Is this better for me or not? And if it's not, then I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do what's better for me, based on what I want, right? But again, if you want to be the number one brewmaster in the world, then of course you're going to fucking drink beer. You know what I mean? So, and that's okay too. Like it's not the, it's just not my path. It's not, but it's that person's path, right? So, or you want to be the best tequila, fucking maker or drinker, I don't fucking know. Like, maybe that's your thing. But again, you just got to figure out, is that thing affecting me or affecting my decisions or affecting my health or affecting, and what's more important to me? Because then people be like, well, why should I eat this way or drink this way if, like, I just want to have fun, and if I don't do it right now, I wouldn't be having fun, and I'd rather do that and live my fucking life than, live to 98 or 100, and that's a very valid point too. So, you just got to figure that one out. But small incremental changes over non-changes more often will get you there. Yep. But yeah, I would say that. And then just like I said just a few minutes ago, and I think I'll try to say it again simpler, it's like the influences that you have around you when you start making these changes or wanting to make these changes are either going to deter you from making those changes or they're going to add to it. So I think with Patty, like going back to Patty, she started reading more. She started listening to, I believe, podcasts, but she started reading more, right? So maybe not podcasts. I'd have to ask her. But she definitely read. She's on her second book in the last, I don't know, month maybe. But she does read, which before she wasn't reading. She wasn't doing any of that. And then she's doing the meditation and the gratefulness. Like, she'll answer, like, she gets something on her phone. It sends her prompt questions every day about being grateful, and that has helped her tremendously. So they're just perfect examples of how these little incremental changes, and she's done it over a year. So in this last year, it's like these things have helped her, these prompts, reading books, perspective, different influences than what she had before. Again, tequila was her influence before. I was an influence before. Not that I'm not now, but I'm a better influence than I was before. Because before I would be like, yeah, let's just go get a fucking beer, get wasted, fuck it. You want to, smoke, get high. That's it. Like, let's go party, I'm trying to fuck. Like, that was it. So I would say small incremental changes and then influences, like really, really tune into the influences around when you're making these small incremental changes throughout life. Identify it, and then just keep sharing it. Once you're successful at it, then share it with somebody and help them out. But it can be done. It can be done. Weight, the whole physical stuff, guys, that's easy. I think the hardest part on a personal level is just the mental shit. The mental shit is a little bit harder than, it coincides, right? Because your mental is driving your decisions anyway, whether it's health or not. But I would say when it comes to health, really the balancing act is hey, brain, is this better for me or not? And if it's not for your health, then don't fucking do it. Change it. Do something that's better for your health. All right, homies. But I digress. You can do whatever you want. I appreciate you guys. I hope all is well. Keep crushing it. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. All right, peace.